Well, hey everybody, welcome back to Stay in Touch, week 2 of our hopefully no more than 4-week series of fireside chats and programming to help us through this difficult time. Wherever you are, whether or not you are stuck at home or still working, possibly you're a first responder who's just exhausted after a long day of helping on the front lines, or an essential worker who is going above and beyond to keep us all running and fed and healthy during this crazy time. We thank you and we see you, and this program is for you. We're going to hear from CHRISTIE, the Executive Director of Pensacola Young Professionals, with a question for Justin Beck, who leads us off today. He's the CEO of Beck Partners and a really strong voice for Pensacola, the Chairman of Chamber of Commerce, and he joins us just in a few minutes. If you have any questions that you'd like to pose to folks who are joining us on the program, connect with Ruthie at Pensacola YP on Facebook, or you can use her email address down below. Well, in a few minutes, we'll check in with Justin Beck and also hear from Pete Nowak. He owns a number of McDonald's in the area. For Small Business Support Week, I wanted to talk to folks that are really doing innovative things, and Pete is offering a innovative way for first responders, our police officers, and folks that are working in our hospitals to get a bite to eat at any McDonald's he owns, and he'll explain how to do that free of charge. It's a really great service, and we thank them for doing that. But first, I want to take you for a quick update with Annabelle, and we're still on baby watch here at Family Orchard Farms, and Annabelle is about to pop, so check in with her. And I want to share a little bit about my family and our history with government assistance, so check that out. Well, Annabelle seems to be enjoying all the greenery and spring new life. The pecan trees have new growth. The horses are frisky from all the beautiful weather. My grandfather, Buster Ward, was born into poverty in the hills of Alabama, north of Andalusia. On a recent visit, I discovered an old crate in the corn crib, long forgotten and decades old. The family ration of government cheese, back from another difficult time and era. It reminded me how similar we all are, no matter our station in life. I came from a family who unashamedly relied on handouts, as they all did, and often our government has helped people pull themselves up from great challenge. We all have a story to tell. What's yours?
From our miles of sugar white sand and emerald Gulf waters to our picture-perfect blend of arts, history, and Southern hospitality, folks have always come to Pensacola to escape, refresh, and relax. Enjoying Pensacola's many experiences has been put on pause for a while, but we want you to know that we're still Pensacola. For over 450 years, we've emerged from every challenge stronger and better. This time will be no different. Until we see you again, please take care of one another. We'll save you a spot in the sand.
Well, everybody, welcome back from the break. On the line with me, I'm honored to have the Chairman of Pensacola Chamber of Commerce, CEO and co-founder of Beck Partners, and long time, you were born in Pensacola, right, Justin? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Aaron. Thanks for having me. Yeah, born and raised in Pensacola, Florida. Actually, north end of the county. Graduated from Tate High School, and went away to college and lived in Birmingham for a little bit, and came back just after Hurricane Ivan in 2005.
So you've seen some things, the aftermath of Ivan. I spoke with a few folks last week that really were equating what we're going through as far as the devastation to our economy, like Ivan. But it's like every city in America is being hit by an Ivan every day. You've seen a lot in your life. Like, what are you thinking as far as the economy goes? Give us some perspective from where you sit.
Sure, and it's such a fluid situation. I think every day new information comes out. So it's my answer today is different than it was last week. Sure. But right now, I'm sitting in a fairly optimistic point of view. I think that we're starting at the very beginning stages of getting our hands around this in our community. And so hopefully we can start having discussions at least about what it looks like moving forward. So I think our healthcare professionals in this community have done just a phenomenal job, and our private companies have done a great job rallying around them. So I think I'm cautiously optimistic right now. We're in the property management business, and so where we sit right now, it's April 13th. So, rents are coming in. And from a commercial real estate perspective, that was, at the end of March, something that we were really on pins and needles about. It looks like it's better than I thought it was going to be. There's obviously businesses out there that are having some really severe impacts from the coronavirus.
Sure.
But in general, it's a little bit better than I thought it was going to be, and I think the Payment Protection Plan Act is having some impact on that. The tenants that we've talked to haven't paid. Several of them are saying, "I'm going to get paid up just as soon as I get this loan processed and get some funds in."
Justin, you and your whole family have been such backers of this community for quite a while, and it's refreshing to see organizations grow and thrive like you guys have. So Justin, we're pleased to have RUTHIE CHRISTIE from Pensacola Young Professionals on with us with a question from one of our viewers. Hey RUTHIE.
Hi Aaron, and hi Justin. It is so great to have you on. So we have the question, what should companies that are looking to relocate to our area or young professionals who are looking to start a business, what should they anticipate moving forward and going into the future?
As opposed to some of the other recessions that I've been through or crisis, hurricanes, Great Recession, those sort of things. There's nothing broken with our economy here locally or nationally. This is a self-imposed situation so that we can save lives. It's a self-imposed recession, so to speak, so that we can save lives. So as we return, things should return quickly. Federal government's been very proactive with making sure that small businesses remain solvent with the Payment Protection Plan Act. So very, very optimistic about our prospects here in Pensacola and in the state of Florida and nationally. So it's not anything that keeps me awake is the long-term outlook of our community. We've got great infrastructure in place. We've got a great ecosystem for entrepreneurs and business owners at the Chamber, and so many other resources that are out there. So I feel very, very good about that. And then anytime there's disruption in the market, it creates opportunities. Yeah. I was speaking with a friend who's in Baltimore actually, but was starting, had just left to start his own firm at the end of January. And my response to him was, I thought it was great timing. He's essentially freed up to go focus on his business during this period of time, and he doesn't have, tremendous amount of payroll or issues that he's dealing with like a lot of companies do. So if you're thinking about starting a business right now, I think it's a great time, frankly. And you can look back through history of businesses, and so many of them were were born out of critical times in our history. Our business merged with McGraw Insurance as a result of the Great Recession. As an opportunity for us to create a more comprehensive offering for real estate owners. So I think it's a great time. I'm extremely excited about that.
Well, that's great, man. You mentioned the Chamber of Commerce, and we do have an advantage in this town. It seems that we have some really great infrastructure built out to help small businesses, to help individuals get engaged and connected. You're the incoming and current chair of the Chamber of Commerce, and I get Todd Thompson's amazing emails every day updating us. Give us a little brag on what the Chamber is doing, because they're doing a ton to help small businesses right now.
They are. Todd and his team are just fantastic. He's really still brand new to the position. He was, vice president of public affairs while Clay Ingram was the CEO, and he just recently assumed the role of CEO and has done just a phenomenal job connecting with the community, with our business leaders. In the Chamber, we've got members as big as Gulf Power, and we've got members that have one, solo entrepreneur. So we run that whole gamut. So the big thing for us right now, and what Todd is doing, is just trying to connect resources, people with the right resources as best we can, working with our economic development group, working with Visit Pensacola, so that we can also communicate with our elected officials and disseminate that information as best we can. Again, I think I've mentioned it a few times. Payment protection plan is the big thing right now. I think all businesses need to make sure that they understand what the opportunities are for that. And there's plenty of resources out there. The Chamber has been doing a fantastic job. And then also just, Todd, one of my favorite things about Todd is, and he's probably going to weigh 800 pounds by the time this thing is over, is that he eats out, I think, 6 times a day and posts pictures on social media supporting all those businesses. And I love him for it. He's doing a great job continually to support all of these great businesses they're grinding it out during such tough times.
Our hats off to everything you're doing to keep us informed and inspired by doing things like this, coming on the show and sharing with folks what you know. As we go out, I got 2 questions I'm trying to introduce for this week. One, what are you watching on Netflix? And do you have any hacks for dealing with kids at home for any of the parents that are watching? Because you've got 4 kids, right? No, 3, sorry. Hudson,
3.
Shepard, and Ingrid, right? What's the secrets, man?
Frequent breaks has been a trick for us, getting outside as much as possible. So we're taking a lot of breaks. 15 minutes or so at a time has been really, really good. Yeah. And just, managing expectations as well, when they're done, and that's okay, Sure. You can only do so much. That's been great for us. Now that we finished Tiger King on Netflix, there's a void in my life.
Yeah, right. I feel like I need to detox from Tiger King,
Yeah, you know what? We Little Fires Everywhere, which is on Hulu, is a really good one.
I've heard good things about that. Yeah.
So that's my hot tip of the week.
That's the Netflix and chill tip of the week. Well, Justin, you heard it here. Man, thank you for being so generous with your time. Please tell Kristen and the kids that we hope they stay safe and happy. And come back on the show as we get wrapped up with all of this, and hope you'll stay in touch.
Will do. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you guys again so much for continuing to interact with us and with each other. We want you to keep doing that. Please reach out. If you have a question that you want answered, if you have a story that you want shared, if you have a unique tip or trick that you're doing to life hack this quarantine time, we want to know about it. So please reach out. You can get in touch with me directly, Ruthie at PENSACOLAYP.com. That's RUTHIE at PENSACOLAYP.com. And we want to do our best to get your questions answered and your stories shared. So please do that, and please stay in touch.
Well, now I want to take a minute to introduce you to somebody I've gotten to know recently. You've probably eaten in one of his establishments and didn't even know him, but he's a business leader and innovator in this area. And I'm pleased to have Pete Nowak on the line, who owns a bunch of the McDonald's around town. Pete, thanks for taking a few minutes, slumming it with us on Stay in Touch. I know you're helping a lot of people.
Well, happy to do it. So the folks that are putting themselves out for us right now, you know, this is a critical time. I think we always look for opportunities to think about our police officers and sheriff's department and, you know, the emergency workers, the ambulance driver, you know, and now they know they're exposing themselves to potential risk, and they're doing it for us right now. And it's just, you know, the least I can do, finding a way that, you know, something we do well, and we serve people at McDonald's, and we've upped our standards for hand washing and wearing masks where appropriate, and really trying to do things. So we're putting ourselves in a great position to take care of the public. I've, you know, more stringent guidelines that I've instituted than maybe even required by the state or the local authority, just to make sure our people are safe. Putting up shields in the drive-through, really the people that have contact with customers and contact with money, to make sure they're isolated and make sure they're washing their hands frequently. You know, those are things that we're doing. So when I looked at it, I said, you know, here's an opportunity for us to give back and just let them know we appreciate them. You know, my gosh, everybody, you know, in the community, you know, really, if they know a first responder, make it from them. You know, we're locally owned and operated, and we love that we're in a position to take care of people, and right now, to let them know they are appreciated probably goes a long way. You know, and Aaron, thank you for spreading the word. And like I said, anybody from the community, it's a simple program. You know, it's a software company that we started, you know, several years ago with a partner, Carl Self, and great application. So I have a lot of knowledge of how this stuff works, and we do things to make sure, you know, we protect people's identity and do these kind of special offers. So if you have you just text, the phone number is 32673, and you text the word HERO, and that puts you in the application. So now, in order to verify it, you have to have some kind of name badge. So anyone that works for a hospital, the police department, no matter what you do in these applications, and I've said this, I've opened it up to, you know, if you're keeping the hallways of that hospital clean, I want to make sure you know how much we appreciate you. And whether you're a doctor, a nurse, an employee, a first responder, if you answer the telephone at the police department, if you answer the telephone for a first responder in any way, I want to make sure you know how much we appreciate you. And that's what we're about. And that's what's nice, to have local owners in the community that can show how much we appreciate the things that you're doing. So that's really what it's about. And so the application is simple, and it just works. So, you know, we developed this a long time ago to help support some other factors in the community, and it's worked out great. So again,
well, Pete,
please encourage people to use it.
I sure will. We'll put the number on the screen. You can text that number directly, and if I heard you right, if you can show that a proof that you work for one of the first responders organizations as a first responder or an essential worker, you're going to cover them at these locations, the McDonald's that you own throughout the region. How awesome is that? Pete, we appreciate you spending some time with us to share what your team is doing to keep everybody safe as you're serving food, but also to open the doors of McDonald's and share whatever you have with the community and the first responders. It means a lot to us, man.
Thank you, Aaron, and thank you for helping keep everybody's spirits high. I know you've got a great show, and you're good at this, so thank you for what you're doing as well.
We all have to do our part, and Pete, I thank you for you doing yours. Stay in touch, man, and when we get through this, I'll come have a Big Mac with you, and we'll talk about how your team did such a great job. Last question before I let you go, man. For anybody who's asking, going through the drive-through and concerned about safety, what are you telling people about packaging once you get it home, or packaging safety, sanitizing things that are handed through the window? Can you share a little bit about best practices there?
Again, just remember at the restaurant level, most people, don't have the same standards as restaurants have for hand washing and sanitization. So we both hand wash and we use sanitizer in the restaurants, and we've upped that, to every 30 minutes minimum. So we have timers that go off and require people to wash their hands. Anybody that has a cough or sneezes, we have a questioning process before you come to work. You have to verify that you haven't had no exposure or no known exposure to anyone. If you have any kind of sickness, we, immediately, ask you to stay home and until your symptoms clear, or until, you get, verify that you can come back. So I think right now in the restaurant business, and I think everyone's doing a good job, so I'm sure it's not just us at McDonald's. We are doing a lot. As you know, we communicate uniquely in our organization visually, so it's nice that we can send messages to our people in a system that we communicate visually. So it's important, to just right now emphasize how important it is to make sure sanitization is at the highest standard, so that when you do receive something from us, it's not a concern.
Sure.
So again, the packages, the boxes that we open, come in sealed. The packages, everything we have, is primarily disposable. Even in the production side of the restaurant, we use mostly disposable items, so you don't see a lot that's being reused. And when we do, we have a sanitization process that we go through to kill any bacteria on any items that we use, frequently wiping down tables. So I believe that when you do get something from a restaurant like ours, you're going to be, your packaging is going to be safe. The people handling it are paying more attention than ever to cleanliness and for your safety. So again, that's going to be very important. Whereas in a grocery store or something like that, where things are open, more exposure to people, again, that's why I'm saying that the whole community needs to wear masks, so that if you do have something and you don't know it, you're not spreading it, and that's the part that's so important. And that's where you'll see that's right now. I'm encouraging everybody that works for us to wear masks. I'm encouraging, if we can't provide it, bring it, make it at home. I'll make as many as I can and give them out. Those things are just very important as a further measure to the public safety. So again, and you'll see a big transition. We're getting the paper disposable masks in very soon, and you'll see everyone wearing those in our organization. Hopefully, when you go through, you see people wearing masks. You see the shields up, that we call them sneeze guards in the drive-through. We're not expecting walk-in customers right now, just because we had so many employees that showed concern about it, that I said, let's just go ahead and leave it drive-through only, where we can be most protected, and then go from there. And so, again, I think just how conscientious we're being about safety is very important, and then reducing the possibility of exposure through hand washing and wearing face masks is going to be the next further measure to it. So
it seems so wise, the actions you're taking, Pete. And we sure appreciate you walking us through the specifics. I know that gives me a lot of reassurance about our food safety, and that we can come to McDonald's and enjoy the same delicious, oh man, I'm hungry just talking about it, man. I appreciate you taking the time, Pete, and our best. our best to your entire team.
Well, good. And share the message with the first responder, because again, you know, it can come from you, it can come from anyone in the community, and I'm here to support the community. So again, right now we have a free 20-piece chicken nugget, and every week I offer something different and it's very special for the first responders, along with a very special message, just letting you know how much we appreciate you. So those first responders that are listening, I just want you to know how much we truly, sincerely appreciate you every day, and now more than ever. Thank you for what you're doing for us, and the little bit I'm doing for you. Please share it, and we'll keep on going. Make this community stronger.
Well said, my friend. Well said. Thank you for taking the time, and we'll get the word out as best we can. Thanks for all you do to support this type of programming as well. Take care, Pete. So Pete Nowak, we appreciate the helpful advice and all that you're doing at McDonald's to keep us fed and folks on the front lines getting some really much needed help. Thanks for your contribution. Well, finally tonight, I want to leave you with these encouraging words.
My prayer for the people of Pensacola and for the nation as well as the world is that we will remember the lessons that we are being taught right now. My prayer is that the love and the camaraderie that's going on right now, my prayer is that we will continue that as a people, as a city, a county, a state, a nation, a world. So I would say to those in this country or even in this community who are hungry, lonely, forgotten, scared, don't let that stop your praise of God. Don't let that get in the way of you acknowledging where all of your help comes from. But then the second part right quick is that those of us who have food, those of us who are in a little bit better situation, it reminds me that we are the ones that God uses to bless those who don't have. Instead of throwing it away or looking down our noses, trying to separate, divide, let's go out and bless those who don't have.